Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into a skill that's a total game changer, one that really separates good arguments from truly great ones: analysis. We're going to figure out how to take a simple piece of evidence and turn it into something really powerful and convincing. You know the feeling, right? You find this perfect quote, this amazing statistic, you drop it into your essay, and then crickets. It just sits there. Your reader, or maybe your teacher, is left thinking, okay, great, but so what? And that so what question, that's the huge wall we all hit, the one that separates just listing facts from actually making a killer point. Just look at this slide. It shows the difference so clearly. On the left, you've got the weak stuff. This shows she was creative. I mean, yeah, obviously. But now look at the right. The strong analysis really digs in. It tells you how that quote reveals her rejection of traditional art expectations, how she used her own life to express her identity and her Mexican culture. See? It completely answers that so what question, and that's exactly what we're aiming for. And that brings us right to our first big idea: having the evidence. That's just the starting line. It's what you do with it that really, really counts. I love this metaphor of evidence as puzzle pieces. It's just perfect. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't just dump a box of puzzle pieces on the table and say, ta-da, it's done. No way. You have to carefully select each piece and show exactly how they click together to build that bigger picture, which is, your main argument. So here's the bottom line, the most important thing to remember. Analysis is your explanation of why that evidence matters. It's the bridge you build between a fact and your big idea. You're not just telling your reader what the evidence says, you're telling them what it means.
Okay, so how do we actually find all that deeper meaning? Well, there's a secret weapon for this. It's called thinking with critical lenses.
So, what is a critical lens? Think of it as a specific viewpoint you choose to look at your evidence through. Each lens helps you zero in on different details and spot connections you would have totally missed otherwise. They're basically your tools for digging deeper. It's kind of like using different filters on a photo on your phone. The picture itself doesn't change, right? But if you slap on a black and white filter, suddenly you're noticing all the shadows and shapes. A vintage filter might bring out the warmth and texture. Critical lenses, they do the exact same thing for your evidence. So for today, we're going to focus on 3 really powerful lenses that you can add to your analytical toolkit right away. Okay, so first up, we've got the sociological lens. This one's all about looking at society, power structures, and how groups interact. Then there's the formalist lens. This is for the artists and writers out there. It focuses on the craft. The structure, the technique, the specific choices the creator made. And finally, the cultural studies lens. This one helps us explore things like identity, heritage, and cultural beliefs. Now, I know these might sound a little academic or abstract, so the best way to really get it is to see them in action. Let's take one simple fact and see what these lenses can really show us. All right, here's our piece of evidence. Super straightforward. Frida Kahlo painted self-portraits showing her unibrow and facial hair. It's a fact, right? Something you can see. Without any analysis, it's just a fun fact, a piece of trivia. But once we bring in our lenses, it becomes so much more. Okay, let's try the sociological lens first. Through this lens, what she's doing is actually a political act. Kahlo is pushing back against society's rules for how women are supposed to look. She's questioning the power of those beauty standards over women's bodies. Pretty cool, right? But now watch this. Let's switch to the cultural lens. Suddenly, we see something totally different. Those same features become this proud declaration of her Mexican heritage. She's rejecting those Eurocentric beauty ideals and celebrating her own unique cultural identity. See that? Same exact fact, but 2 completely different, really powerful insights. Okay, so now we know what these lenses are, which is awesome. But how do we actually use them in our writing? Well, luckily for us, there's a simple 4-step formula that makes it super easy. This formula builds out your analysis in 4 really clear stages. First, step 1, a lead-in. This just gives your evidence a little context. Step 2, present the evidence itself. That's your quote or detail. Now, step 3 is the absolute heart of it all, your lens-based analysis. This is where you explain the meaning using one of those lenses. And finally, step 4 connects everything back to your main thesis, proving your bigger point. All right, time to put it all together. Let's see what a perfectly built analytical paragraph actually looks like out in the wild. So, we're going to break down a model paragraph, step by step. It's all about Frida Kahlo's 1940 painting, Self-Portrait with Cropped Hair, and it uses our four-step formula with this sociological lens. Okay, first things first, the topic sentence. It makes a super clear claim right at the top. Frida Kahlo's artwork challenged the social expectations placed on women in the early 20th century. Boom! That sets the stage for the whole paragraph. We know exactly what the point is going to be. Next up, we get steps 1 and 2 together, the lead-in and the evidence. The writer gives us context, the name of the painting, and then describes the specific evidence. Kahlo's sitting there in a man's suit, she's holding scissors, and her long hair is all cut off and scattered around her. You can really picture it, right? The visual is crystal clear. And here is where the magic happens. Step 3, the analysis. The writer whips out that sociological lens to explain what these details mean. Cutting your hair, wearing a man's suit, it's not just about being sad. No, it's a powerful act of rejecting the social rules that said a woman's value was all about her looks and her ability to please a man. It's a direct challenge to that whole power dynamic. And finally, step 4 brings it all home. This last sentence perfectly closes the loop. It connects the analysis of this one single painting all the way back to the larger thesis. It shows how Kahlo's work was a form of social criticism that challenged the power structures limiting women's freedom. It completely, perfectly answers that so what question we started this whole thing with. So, there you have it. The next time you look at a piece of art or read a quote or hear a statistic, don't just see what's on the surface. Pick up a lens, sociological, formalist, cultural, whatever fits, and ask yourself, why does this matter? You have the tools now. The only question left is, what are you going to see now?